Hey y'all, welcome back to my channel. My name is Jupiter James and this is Astro Motivation, where I awaken the astrologer within you and aim to give you a little inspiration and motivation per your unique placement within your birth chart. You know, I really do feel that before a time of iPhones and iPads and I this and I that, we were a culture and a society that were better able to look up at the stars and understand exactly where our dreams were and how to get them. And so if that sounds good to you, let's go ahead and get into it. So today I'm excited to bring you a very interesting topic that's been on my mind lately, and that's all around the late bloomer aspects within astrology. You know, some of us may feel a little unlucky out there, or they may feel like their life is moving slow, or will they ever get the success and the money and the milestones that they see everybody else around them receive so easily or earlier on in life. And so, you know, some of these signs, some of these occurrences I am able to see within a birth chart, you know, and I call these my late bloomer aspects. Sometimes I'm able to see in a chart right offhand within these telltale indicators. If I see them in a chart, I automatically know, okay, it's not that you're unlucky, it's not that you're cursed, it's not that, you know, it's just time, all right? It's just that life has to mold you for the blessing a little bit. You have to work for it, or whatever it may be, through the late bloomer aspect itself, all right? So these are my telltale signs. Please note that there are millions and millions of late bloomer aspects out there per astrology and within a particular person's chart, but these are just my most obvious ones. These are the ones that without digging too deep, I'm able to automatically see, yes, this person is meant to receive certain blessings and milestones a bit later in life, okay? And so if that interests you, let's go ahead and dive deep. Now, before we get started, I wanted to inform you on a really cool site I discovered the other day, and that's called Authority Astrology, okay? Authority Astrology has an amazing AI tool that you can discover your personal chart and stars within. Once you sign up, you will then be able to generate a birth chart, and from there you will gain access to their amazing AI engine where you can dive deep and ask it whatever you want, okay? I was playing around with it the other day, and that AI engine read me to filth. I'll just say that, okay? And so I just wanted to bring it to you, and maybe it would be something that you would be interested in. Just follow my link below in my description box and you can navigate the site for yourself. But as I said before, once you sign up, you can then generate your birth chart, and then from there you'll be able to ask it whatever you want. You know, I chose to ask it things like, what are some of my most talented traits within my chart, right? And it gave me the answer. Or if you even want to dive deep into things like love or money, you can ask it something like, what are some of the most compatible signs per my chart placements for myself, right? And it will give you the answer, all right? It's an amazing tool, so have at it. Now, of course, nothing beats the intuitive human wisdom of an astrologer, but this is a great tool should you just need something quick and in a pinch, all right? So I wanted to bring you that information and you guys enjoy, all right? So my first indicator for late bloomer is if you are a Capricorn rising, or if you have Saturn in your first house. I automatically know, full stop, before I even go in depth into the reading, I automatically know this person is in for a bit of a life of challenge, okay? But it is gonna be through these trials that the universe is putting this person through that it is molding them and fortifying them for the ultimate blessing of success that will bestow them a bit later in life, okay? Usually after the ages of 30, 35, or the first Saturn return is when they will become a little bit more, you know, successful in life, or they would find a little bit more ease and flow. But work is key here, okay? You being someone that has a Saturn in the first house or a Capricorn in as your rising sign, work is your assignment. Work is due here, okay? So through work and through hard work and through effort and applying yourself, ease comes, okay? So you can't just wait and watch the clock and say, okay, Jupiter James told me that when I'm 30, something's gonna, no, that's not the way it works, okay? Because you can turn 35 and if you haven't done the work, nothing happens for you, okay? So that is what my Capricorn risings and my people who have a Saturn in the first house are under. That's one of my most obvious indicators, okay? So another not so obvious indicator would be if a person has their chart ruler, okay, in their 10th house or in the 11th house, okay? So again, if you have your first lord chart ruler, meaning that if you are a, let's say you're an Aries riser, the ruler or the Lord of Aries is who? It's Mars, right? So if Mars in your chart is placed in the 10th or the 11th house, that would mean that you are going to be a late bloomer. Okay, so and you can do this with whatever rising sign you have. If you, let's say, are a Libra riser, who is the Lord for Libra? Who is the ruler for Libra? Venus. Okay, if Venus is placed in your chart in the 10th or the 11th house, you would be in store for late blessings in life. Okay, you would find that your growth will be delayed in life. Okay, so that is my second indicator. Okay, if your chart ruler is in the 10th or in the 11th house. All right, moving forward, if you have, let's say, a Capricorn stellium, an Aquarius stellium, a 10th house stellium, then in whatever sign it may be, if you have a 10th house stellium, and especially if in that stellium you have your personal planets like Sun, Venus, Mercury, Moon, that would definitely be a telltale sign of late indicative like blessings in life. Okay, or just late milestones, you coming into your own a little bit later in life. Okay, that would definitely be seen there with those placements. I also want to say if you have Venus in the 10th house, a lot of people don't know about that one, but if you have Venus in the 10th house, do know that some of the relational blessings, right, like you become more socially blessed in love, marriage, friendship, your values, these things blossom a bit later in life. All right, you find love later in life. Okay, because when you have Venus in the 10th house, it usually shows that the chart wants you to be with someone who is solid, who is successful, who has it going on. And even if you have it going on in your life, right, the person that is meant for you may not. So it may take time for love to, you know, come about in your life, or even money, right? You may come into money a bit later in life, all right, with this energy of Venus in the 10th house. All right, let's see, another indicator that I feel a lot of people miss or don't really know about, or that would be quite obvious to me, would be if you have a Jupiter in Capricorn. Okay, no matter where it's placed in your chart, if you have a Jupiter in Capricorn, this is one of those indicators where the person themselves may feel like, okay, yeah, I hear around the town that Jupiter is the planet of abundance, but where's my abundance? Where is it? You know, because Jupiter is in Capricorn. And so you may find that your blessings come later in life, that your blessings are on hold or on pause with this energy. And that really the way you are able to squeeze the blessings out of the universe is through your hard work and through patience and through withstanding the test of time. Okay, so that is one of my other late bloomer aspects. Okay. Let's see, I don't know if I said your sun, yeah, your sun or personal planets in Capricorn or in the 10th house. All right, another one that probably people don't really know about is if you have your sun in Aquarius, your sun in Capricorn, or your sun in the 10th house, or your sun in the 11th house. With these energies of the sun in the 10th or the 11th house, you may find that your personality, your ability to shine, your ability to be seen, your personality, your light, your essence, who you are, is not able to be shown to the world or expressed from yourself until a bit later in life, right? Especially my people who have that, that sun in or sun or moon in the 11th house. I feel like you would be someone that throughout your life, from birth all the way up until you get that thing that you've been dreaming for or working towards, you may not feel like yourself. You may always be at a party or a function or meeting people, and in the back of your mind, you're like, you don't even know, I'm undercover right now. You could feel that way about yourself, that you don't even know the full magnitude of who I am right now, because who I am is on reserve. You would feel that innately within you, that until you achieve that goal, until you achieve that dream, that you are not yourself yet, if that makes sense. Okay, so that is what the experience would be for someone who has that sun and moon in the 11th house, and sometimes even in the 10th house. But I feel like with the 10th house, the person identifies themselves with their career a bit more, but still, even then, you come a little bit more into your own a bit later in life. Okay, let's see, if you have, I would say Capricorn in the 3rd house, Capricorn in the 5th house, those are definitely late bloomer aspects. If you have a Capricorn in the 3rd house, who you are, your ability to speak your mind, your ability to express yourself, is a bit challenged. It's a bit harder for you. I would even say that if you have Aquarius in the third or Aquarius in the fifth, your love life is a bit on pause, or your passions in life, your ability to shine is a bit on pause. Same with Capricorn in the fifth house. Okay, so you come into your own a bit later in life with this energy. Also, if you have a Sun conjunct Saturn, that's a big one too, or Sun conjunct Venus, or Sun conjunct Mercury, or Sun conjunct Moon. These are going to be energies that, you know, if your personal planets like Sun, Venus, Moon, Mercury, if they're conjunct Saturn, there's definitely going to be a delay in your personal expression, in your ability to, you know, get certain things, achieve certain milestones. Even if you have a Saturn conjunct Jupiter, again, that's one of my ones where whenever I see a Saturn conjunct Jupiter, the person's probably looking around like, I heard there's this magic planet called Jupiter that gives you blessings, but where's mine? Your blessings are on pause a little bit, okay? Or they come with like equal drawbacks and blessings with this energy, but usually it's on pause. It comes a bit later in life. Same is true if you have Sun conjunct Saturn, Sun conjunct Venus, Sun conjunct Moon, Sun conjunct Mercury. You will be someone whose milestones and whose personal expression comes a bit later in life. And lastly, let's say you have Sun sextile Saturn, or Sun aspecting Saturn in any way, shape, or form. There's gonna definitely be a delay. But you know, one of my favorite ones is Sun sextile Saturn, or Venus sextile Saturn, because it makes that delay not feel like a delay. Okay, it's like that nice slow burn type of energy, right? Where it's like it ages like fine wine. Like whatever the delay is, the person themselves feels like, oh, it's okay. Like, oh, it's only been 35 years? Oh, I could wait 35 more. It'll feel like that if it's a sextile. But if it's in any other type of aspect, they may still feel like it's a weight on them, or the patience is getting to them, if that makes sense. But yeah. And if you have Chiron in the first house, that's a big one. That's a missed one that people don't really realize, is that if you have a Chiron in the first house, until you heal that wound, right? Nothing in life happens, because you are your medicine, you are your healing. So, and usually that takes age and maturity. Usually it takes for you to get kind of sick of yourself and getting over the shyness and getting out of your own way, that then your life begins to take flight with this energy. Okay, so Chiron in the first house is a definite one for sure. All right, but I do feel like those are all of my indicators. All right, but not all of the ones in the chart, but just my particular obvious indicators that if I saw this in a chart, I would automatically go, you know, full stop. Your blessings are on pause or on reserve. Let me know if you have any of these indicators in your chart, okay? Do you have heavy Saturnian energy in your chart? Do you have heavy Aquarius placements in your chart? Do you have a Chiron in the first house? Do you have a Jupiter in Capricorn? Let me know if you have some of these in your chart, and let me know if there is something in your chart that you would feel would bring that late blooming type of energy in your life. Let me know, okay? Because I would love to, you know, discuss it in the comments below, and I'll confirm for you if that is a thing in your chart, all right? But without further ado, I'm wishing you all the best, much prosperity and abundance. You take care and be blessed. Bye.